During my first meeting with Justin, the operations manager, he said to me, people only get a couple of chances to cross me, and then I'm done with them. And in this case, who he was done with was Linda, but he tended, in her mind, to punish her in every interaction they had from that day forward. They didn't call me in for 2 years. And when they did call me in, there was a desperate CEO who was trying to stitch back some kind of relationship between these two. I am here today to sound the alarm. All right. Actually, sorry. Good morning. Everybody awake now? Poor relationships, they cause about 65% of performance problems in organizations. Now what that means is that the poor performance is not the result of what? Lack of skill, lack of motivation. It's not that stuff, but it's been traceable back to the relationship between the participants. You get to have the cow of honor in front of your seat. Yes.
All
everybody.
Right. I wanted this.
There you go. Yeah. So everybody knows he's special now. My favorite audience member. It's not just scapegoating. It's not just wordplay. And it's not somebody just trying to deflect it. It's a genuine, authentic feeling that people have when they're in conflict, that they are a victim of the other side. So usually by the time you or I see the raging bonfire within the organization, there is so much wood and furniture and ammunition and case files and stuff packed on this bonfire that it is completely out of control. And what started it is completely obscured underneath that pile of rubbish. We don't know anymore what the conflict is about. So this is a core concept in conflict theory, the idea that conflicts do what over time? They get bigger, they grow, they spread. People tend to vilify their enemy to the point that whatever the other person does, they can do no right. And it's always perceived, it's almost like a pair of glasses you put on just for that person. All right? Now, I'd like you to raise your elbow if you are purely, truly neutral. Raise your elbow. Anybody? I don't see any takers out there other than me. I was just showing you how to do it. So, okay, I'm not raising my elbow either. I am not purely neutral. And I'm the outside, objective, professional, blah, 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 mediator. It's my job to be neutral. Or is it? We all really have opinions about all the people we work with, about the cases that I have and the people I have to mediate for, and the people you have to interact with in your organizations. You have opinions. The key to good conflict resolution is that my opinion is opaque to the people that I'm working with. In other words, they don't have a clue about this internal voice of judgment that's going on inside me. And obviously, I'm trying my best not to be judgmental. You're kind of like a shepherd dog, like working over here. You don't want them to stray too far over here, right? But you don't want them to go too far over this way either. What you don't want to do is be out in front of them, grabbing them by the nose ring and pulling them to the solution that you think is the best one. And why is that? Because the solution that they will come up with on their own is the one they're going to follow. Now, how about the case where I had two coworkers? They come into mediation, and one of them is the teacher's pet. The manager really likes this employee. And is that clear to everybody else? You bet. Everybody else around them knows that that guy is the teacher's pet. The manager likes that person the best, a lot of favoritism. And guess what? It turns out through this dialogue that the employee that is favored realizes that's not doing really him any good. It's damaging to the team. And so he, on his own volition and with discussion with his coworker in the mediation, decides that he'll go back to his boss and tell him, stop it. It's not working for me. It's not working for the team. I don't want you to favor me anymore. Now, would that have come up if somebody had prescribed that to them? Now, sometimes I have to force myself into this mindset. I'm not saying this is easy to do. I have to force myself to be neutral, to be impartial, and to treat people that way. And if it's tough for me on the outside, golly, I know it's going to be tough for you all on the inside. Where you are vested in the outcome and you know the people, it's going to be a tougher hill to climb, isn't it? You have to acknowledge the reality of this for the person who's experiencing it. You just have to treat it as a fact. You can't make it go away. That whining, victim-y, I'm getting picked on by the other person, it's a reality for them. So as much as you wish you could just make it go away or pound a gavel and make them stop, you really can't evict that from their thinking. It's built into the way we experience conflict. So the first step in dealing with it is to acknowledge it. Listen so that you will have them listen to you. So there's this built-in mechanism in good listening, which is when I listen to you, there gets a time in that conversation where I get to start to share my thoughts. And when I get to share my thoughts, if I've really listened to you effectively, and you can say, yeah, Chris understands what I'm saying. He understands exactly where I'm coming from. If you get to that point, and then you say to them, well, now I'd like to share some thoughts, and they start to cut you off, well, you have kind of the upper hand here. You can say, you know what, I listened to you. You said I understood what you said. Now I'm trying to share a perspective, and you keep cutting me off. Okay, so that's the game of negotiation, planting doubt in the other person's mind. But the conflict resolver's job, your job, is to plant doubt in everybody's mind. When I talk to the other person, what are they going to say about you? And here's the killer clause, and what part of what they say has merit. Come on, I'm counting on you. I gave you a cow. You can what? Avoid okay, you can keep your cow now. All right. Excellent, good. I can't tell you how many times I get the call from the HR manager and they say, our team is broken. Our team is dysfunctional and we need to fix the team. And what I tend to do is start asking questions that try to figure out where the real heat is. And I might find that, wow, I walk in and yeah, this room is hot, but it's that furnace, that broken furnace over there that's just pumping out the heat. So while it looks like the whole team is hot, it's really that furnace, those two individuals or those three people, that core group that is really creating, I don't mean to say you all in particular, don't take it personally. And on these cards, on one side you're going to write down the 5 barriers to conflict resolution, and on the other side you're going to write 5 of the tips that we discussed on how to resolve it. And not the 5 you came in here knowing already, but 5 new ones. All right, so everybody needs a card for this. So for that, we're going to go like this. Yeah. All right, according to chaos theory, everybody will end up with a card. Order up. All right. So, taking that card and turning to your neighbor next to you, just compare notes and then grade each other on their performance here. So do you all feel like you have some core concepts for understanding conflict better? All right. Do you have some new skills that you're going to take with you? Thank you very much, folks. It's been a pleasure.